Only. What's up, guys? ONLYUSEmeBLADE, and this is an old Call of Duty Ghost game that is a perfect backdrop for me to kind of discuss. This is perfect. This is what I talked about. This is something that really gets me on my mind. I can get on my little internet soapbox for a second. I'm not preaching. I'm just giving my points of views, and maybe you soak these views in, yeah? You soak it in, and then maybe there might be a reaction, or maybe it might allow you to I don't know, look at things a little bit differently. So, Alex Rodriguez, right? Alex Rodriguez, I don't know if he did or he didn't. He probably did, but he did steroids, right? And I know I'm probably butchering the story. And I actually watched a 60-minute special, because the 60 Minutes is that TV show where they dive deep into the situation and figure stuff out. It was on after the football game, right? So Alex Rodriguez does he does steroids, and the dude that was supplying and telling him how to do the steroids and had him on a regimen was gave a full interview to 60 Minutes, right? Now, here's the thing. Here's the picture that they paint, okay? It's so you have the baseball, and baseball is you need to be holy. You need to not do steroids. And I understand that that's the rule, because the reason why that's a rule, the reason why you can't do performance enhancing drugs in professional sports is because that somehow the only reason why that is a no-no is because somehow that would make it that's somehow a bad thing to the the youth, right? And so if you do performance enhancing, and this idea that, oh, well, if, it's not fair to the players that do it legitly, that don't take performance enhancing drugs. Was I get that. I understand that. And at a high school level, totally understand that. But on a professional level, it's you're paying people billions of dollars. And also, if you think about it, you're paying someone millions of dollars, right? And you're doing it for their bodies. Okay, you are paying them all this money and what they're giving you is their bodies. And so let's say you're a football player. You're only good for 5 to 10 years, sometimes longer, depending on the position or whatever, right? Well, during that time, you're going to get concussions, and you're going to get fucking knocked the fuck out, and you're probably going to have some brain damage if you play a little bit too long, right? And that's part of it. So you're giving your bodies that way. Now, all these performance-enhancing drugs, they might take some years off you, but they allow you to perform at a higher level. If we go back to the gladiator days, where we put people in coliseums, and it was them and a whole bunch of lions, and they just had to murk lions until they died, right? Somehow we've moved along, and we tend to put these athletes on pedestals or whatever. And the thing is I don't. Two things about this Alex Rodriguez situation. 3 things, okay? 1, fuck baseball and fuck the professional sports if they're trying to make it seem as if Alex Rodriguez did something horrible, because what he's doing is he is trying to make himself perform better for the fans. He's literally sacrificing his body to make himself better for the fans. And if anybody gives the argument, well, it's not fair to the other players that do it legitly, you're getting paid millions of dollars to play fucking baseball. So shut up. Now, the other thing is this. It's not my place to say if I think it's right or wrong for Alex Rodriguez. I'm not Alex Rodriguez's moral compass, okay? And this idea that people have, and I'm going to compare myself, and the only reason I'm comparing myself on the basis of the way that I am is judged by so many different types of people, even though it's on such a smaller molecule level compared to an Alex Rodriguez type. But the other thing is, we have to be able to separate between a performer and that performer's life. we pay X amount of dollars to see a Seahawk game, or X amount of dollars to watch a fight on boxing, or whatever. We pay so many dollars to see them perform, and they provide entertainment to us, right? Now, I don't think that we're paying to be able to sit there and judge their life off the court, their life off the field, their life off the stage. And also, you could idolize, but don't like think of them as like role models. Here's a good example, okay? If you had to ask me like my favorite sports player when I was a kid, it was two basketball players, Michael Jordan and Sean Kemp, okay? Now, Sean Kemp because Seattle and the Sonics, and I love the way that he fucking played basketball. Like, he just had like this swag about him when he played, and he's the best power forward of all time, and the best dunking power forward of all time. I think he was more fun to watch than Dominique Wilkins. That's my personal opinion. Sorry. Maybe biased. But here's the thing. Sean Kemp wanted to leave the Sonics for a better contract. He was a drug abuser. He smoked crack. And he had some personal vendetta against condoms and pulling out because this dude had like 10 kids by like 11 different women. Like one of them sharing. Okay? So off the court, dude, not the swellest of dudes. But even as a kid, even as I watched him as a kid, I didn't give a fuck about his off-the-court stuff. You could have told me that he defecated on Italian people, and I would be like, whatever, that's what he does off the court. When he has that jersey on, he's the man. See what I'm saying? Like, even as a child, I was able to separate that, okay? I remember that I loved Michael Jackson. I thought Michael Jackson was the shit, right? Well, a little bit later on down the road, like halfway through my, hey, Michael Jackson makes some fucking badass music, I find out that he liked to diddle little boys. Do I encourage him diddling little boys? Fuck no. And you know what? He's a child molester. If all that stuff was true, because I never believe any of that shit that gets talked about or whatever, but like if it was true that this dude was a child molester, fuck him. I hope he dies forever, like over and over again. Like I hope he gets raped as a child in the afterlife. But the thing is that I'm able to differentiate him being a performer, and a fucking awesome performer at that, to being a child molester. Even though I completely dislike child molesters. And another thing that I find interesting is that these people on Facebook were like, I'm done with Alex Rodriguez. I'm so done with Alex Rodriguez, and like, just it was the whirlwind romance that me and Alex Rodriguez had. Like first he was in Seattle, and then he like left us. I always like when they like he left us. Okay, dude, it's a business, okay. But they always are like, yeah, he left us, and then like, you know, he just never would have done that if he was at Seattle. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, first off, popularity or fame, people are like, oh, the fame got to his head. It's like, wait, you're gonna be fucking well adjusted if you get that's okay. Literally, fame is people treating you differently than a normal person because you're famous. And so when you act accordingly, then people get mad that you're acting accordingly. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm not famous. I'm just a fucking dude on YouTube. People are like, oh, you privatize your friends list. It's like, I have to, because if I don't privatize my friends list, then my friends are going to get bothered by people that want to bother me. Oh, you've changed. Well, no shit. I don't know. And I also don't want you guys to think that I'm trying to compare myself to Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Sean Kemp, Alex Rodriguez, actual famous, long-lasting performer/athletes. I'm just a dude that plays Call of Duty. I was more talking about a very, very, very small version of popularity. Hope you guys can understand that. Why do people do that? Why can't people realize that these performers People that perform are human beings. And when they're out there on the basketball court, out there in the baseball field, golf course, whatever, why do we judge them on what they do when they're not doing that? Hey, I want you to judge my dunking. We're going to judge what you do in the locker room. That's retarded. ONLYUSemeBLADE. Peace and butt grease. Mouse click. And no porn star today. Mouse click. Bye.